So after an 8-5 season, ending with beating rival Ohio State and Alabama in the bowl game, what does Michigan's roster look like this season? They are in spring practice now. They are practicing. We will have a spring game 2 weeks after it should be aired because of tampering situations. We're worried about people taking players off of our roster. At least we're going to play a spring game, unlike other programs that I can mention out there. But to me, Michigan's roster is full of inexperience and unknowns. In true depth, really. You know, you go back to 2023, where Michigan won with fifth-year seniors, and then the seniors, the juniors, the sophomores, everyone was bought in and won that national championship. This past season, a lot of them players left, and now this season, a lot more players are going to leave. So, what does that leave this Michigan roster? I've already done the season schedule in some of these videos, and Michigan has one of the easiest schedules in the nation if you go off results from last season. These players on this roster have to step up for the University of Michigan. I liken it to, you have so many bullets on your roster. How many of them are silver bullets? How many of them are bronze where, you feel good about them because they have proven themselves before? And then just every day, the young guys who are hungry and want a chance, they get in and do some things. Well, I don't think Michigan has too many clips. I think Michigan has a couple of silver bullets. And then the rest of that clip is bronze. And then, if we have to reload, it's not going to the depth isn't there on this team is what I'm trying to say. But quarterback is in no question. Looks like everyone I hear from, watch on YouTube here, says that Bryce Underwood is that and a bag of potato chips. He is worth the money tenfold that he got, apparently. Even Connor Stallion says he is a 3-year veteran in college already between the ears with his brains. That may be, I don't think that was out of context, but it might have been, different verbiage. Anyway, Bryce Underwood, the freshman, is going to be Michigan's starter week 1, in my opinion, and he is a silver bullet for this program. 6'4", 208 pounds. He is number 1 nationally. Number 1 at the quarterback position, obviously, and number 1 from the state of Michigan, and was coached by Connor Stallions just this past season. And I love glowing reviews for Underwood everywhere that you look. And if that's not enough, listen, this quarterback room for Michigan has gotten 1,000 times better in the offseason. All we had was Davis Warren last year. That was it. Orgy, but different skill set, and we didn't want to try that as a team, so he transferred out. Of course, he's no longer on the team. Davis Warren is a graduate here, 6'2", 195 pounds. He was 64% last year for 1,199 yards. That's the best we could do at quarterback last season. 7 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. Currently, he is hurt, but he is still in the quarterback room, so that is like the floor now. He was our starter. Now he is our floor going forward because Michigan also brought in Mikey Keene, who was a graduate from Fresno State. 5'11", 200 pounds, one of them scramble, run-around guys. But he was 71% last season. 289 yards passing. He had 18 touchdowns and 11 interceptions at Fresno State. And then Jaden Davis, of course, who absolutely needed a red shirt last season because his parents said he's going to be redshirted last season, and he never played a down. But he will be a sophomore this upcoming season. He is 6'1", 205 pounds. No stats because we could have tried him out and needed him. His parents said, no, I don't want his talents to be wasted on that 8-5 Michigan team last year. Anyway, I digress. The room is 1,000 times better. Let's talk about the running back room going into the spring here. Justice Haynes, a junior, is 5'11" and 205 pounds. Every one of Michigan's running backs is 5'11" and between 190 and 210, with the exception of Benjamin Hall, who I think could be a beast. But I digress. Justice Haynes had 448 yards last season at Alabama. That's a 5.7 average he had. He had 7 rushing touchdowns, and he had 100 receiving yards out of the backfield. So he has proven in the second string, third string role at Alabama that he is a third down back. He was just waiting for his opportunity, and now, well, here it is. Now that Michigan has lost some elite running backs of their own, Justice Haynes is probably going to be your starter, and I'm going to book it right here. Jordan Marshall, though, former Mr. Ohio, has something to say. A sophomore who committed to this team originally. Every Michigan fan is rooting for this guy. 5'11", 210 pounds. He only had 120 yards last season as a freshman, and a 3.9 average is not that stellar, but we all know he is better than that. And then Benjamin Hall, a junior, is 5'11", 235 pounds. A beast. We've seen what he can do over his tenure here. He gets sporadic amounts of playing time. Last season, a little bit. He had 72 yards and a 2.5 average, and that cost him last season. But, it's hard when everyone knows you're going to run the ball. Anyway, Micah Kapana, I think, is the fourth guy who should really get a shot, a view from the coaching staff. 5'11", 190 pounds. He is only a sophomore as well. No stats from last season. I think actually he played in the bowl game, but I didn't get those stats for you. Sorry. But on the surface, this room isn't up to par, but all 4 of these running backs are very capable. And if you go running back by committee, I haven't even talked about Bryce Underwood running yet. I think we could have a dangerous running game. It all depends on the offensive line, too, which is coming up here for the offense. But we're going to talk about tight end first. Marlon Klein has been the guy in waiting ever since Eric All and Schoonmaker and all those guys have gone through this program. He was hampered by great tight ends that have been here before. He is a senior now, though. 6'6", 247 pounds. He has a quarterback now, too. He got 108 yards all last year, 8.3 average. Pitiful. Hogan Hansen, a sophomore at tight end, is 6'5", 236 pounds. He had 78 yards and an 11.1 average per reception last season and 1 touchdown. We all remember that very early in the season. Then he never got the ball again. Like I said, keep in mind that tight end and wide receiver numbers were affected by a down quarterback situation from Michigan last year. It doesn't mean that all these tight ends and wide receivers are garbage. They may now get their first opportunity this season. All right, Max Bredesen, we all know, is back. Love him for that. He's a graduate. He's the H-back / fullback, the utility player, hits a lot of people, makes great blocks. Whatever we need him to do on the interior, he's going to do. 6'2", 240 pounds. He got 3 carries for 24 yards last season. or 3 catches, excuse me, as tight end out of the backfield, and 8 per completion, 8 yards per completion, so not bad. But normally he's just the beast, the guy in the middle that is going to get it done. Zach Marshall at tight end is going to be a junior. A highly recruited player as well, 6'4", 235 pounds. Deacon Tonelli, a junior, 6'5", 238 pounds. So can they get in the mix? Neither one of them have any stats, but, that's what I love about it. It's meritocracy, but it is class. You have to earn your way up. You have to beat that upper class if you want to do it. And if for Deacon Tonelli and Zach Marshall and Hogan Hansen, it's going to be hard to beat out senior Marlon Klein. So, at wide receiver, I don't have them in XYZ or anything, just by their stats, what they've done here. The coaching staff, Chip is going to as offense coordinator, he's going to figure out the best place to put these people, and out of different formations, I hope. You always have to be multiple, and Michigan has a lot of multiple heights and weights and speeds and size and everything at wide receiver. Starts with Samaj Morgan, of course, who had the most yards from last season coming back. He's a junior, 5'10", 174 pounds. He has 139 yards last season, 5.1 average per completion, and only 1 touchdown. It pains me to say Frederick Moore was the second leading receiver coming back from last year. Another junior, 6'1", 181 pounds. He has 128 yards to claim from last season, but he did it in an 11.6 average per completion, so that's much better, and a touchdown. Big guy that can go down the field. Now, Kendrick Bell is a junior as well, another big guy, 6'2", 191 pounds. Had 7 yards and a 10-yard average per completion last season. Donovan McCulley comes in from Indiana. He's a graduate. He is 6'5", 200 pounds. And at Indiana, he had 21 yards last season. 2 catches, 10.5 average. But one of them was a touchdown for Indiana last season. All right, Peyton O'Leary. We all know Peyton O'Leary, who has gotten a lot. He's had some plays. But again, he really hasn't had a quarterback. He's a graduate now. He's 6'3", and 203 pounds, and he's pretty fast. Could he get a spot on this team this season? He had 102 yards last season and a touchdown, and he was 10.2 average per completion. Amorian Walker left, came back. He's a senior now. He's 6'3", and 182 pounds. I expect this guy to give it his all because the athletic ability is there. The drip is there. The confidence, everything. Something in him. He needs to get smarter, and I think he has. And then, of course, a better quarterback in Bryce Underwood, throwing the ball to where he can run under it for a touchdown. I think that could happen a lot. I like Amorian Walker. I think he is going to be a starter week 1 for Michigan. Call me crazy. C.J. Charleston is a graduate we brought in last year. He had 1 catch for 22 yards for us last year. Andrew Marsh is a freshman that is coming in that a lot of people are high on. 6 foot, 175 pounds. Number 82 nationally. He was number 13 at his wide receiver position. Number 20 from the state of Texas. Listen, if he can beat out some of these other guys, these graduates and seniors and juniors that have been here for a while and have been waiting their turn and fighting for their spot, then man, Andrew Marsh is going to be electric if he can do all that. I'm all for it. Channing Goodwin, a sophomore, 6'1", 185 pounds, didn't play last year, so why doesn't he have a better opportunity than Andrew Marsh? They got to show it on the field. And Morian Stewart, another sophomore, 5'11", 180 pounds, had no stats last year. Jamar Browder will be a freshman this upcoming season at Michigan, 6'5", 208 pounds, so that is exciting. Number 84 wide receiver in the nation. Number 73 from the state of Florida. So, that is height, massive heights, and weight for a guy that played in Florida and was recognized as the number 84 wide receiver. So now, even with a viable quarterback, I know Michigan needs more help in this wide receiver room. I expect them to go get a guy, an elite type of a playmaker that Ohio State always has, or LSU. They're always in the South, seems like. But I think Michigan can afford to go get one of those guys in the portal before we enter fall camp. All right. That is all behind an offensive line, though, that is pretty good, really. As I look at it now, everyone hated Evan Link. He's a junior now. He's going to be the starting left tackle. He started all 11 games last year at left tackle. He's 6'6", 328 pounds, at left guard, I think Nathan Afobe is coming in, and he's a junior. He's coming in at 6'3", 307. He played at left guard 6 different games last season. So he is a natural step up into that position. Played with Evan Link, I'm sure, and Sprague, who is coming up. But at center, I think Greg Crippen, another graduate, one of 2 graduates on this offensive line. So the experience is there. He is 309 pounds. He started at center in 8 games last year and has 27 career experiences here at Michigan. Gio El-Hadi is 310 pounds, another graduate at right guard. He started all 13 games for Michigan at right guard last season and had 42 career appearances at Michigan. So that means he played in 42 games. Right tackle, Andrew Sprague is going to be, I think, the right tackle. 305 pounds. He's only a sophomore, but he started at right tackle 1 time last year, and it was versus Alabama in the bowl game after we lost a couple of more offensive linemen to the NFL draft. He appeared in 4 games last year, though, at right tackle. So there is what everyone has to go behind, but the depth. Michigan says they can go 10 deep at offensive line, which is always awesome to hear as a Michigan football fan. Andrew Babalola, of course, the freshman, 6'6", 300 pounds, could play. He is number 10 nationally, number 2 at the offensive tackle position, and number 1 from the state of Kansas. We had Luke Hamilton, Jake Guarna, who backed up at center and played 5 games on special teams only, but he played in 5 games. He earned the right. Dan Tarboy, a senior. Can he cement his legacy at Michigan? Connor Jones, another senior, 6'6", 320 pounds. You got Brooks Bauer, a junior, 6'5", 319 pounds. Ben Roebuck, a sophomore, 6'7", 305 pounds. Avery Gatch, a freshman, 6'5", 287 pounds. Blake Frazier, another sophomore, who is 6'6", 285 pounds. Caden Strayhorn, a freshman, 6'2", 299 pounds. So we go deep, highly coveted offensive lineman here on this Michigan team that Bryce Underwood is going to be able to be safe behind, I believe, in this next season. All right. At kicker, because it's part of offense, and then I'll put punter as part of defense in the next video. But Dominik Zvada is back, baby, as a senior. He's back. This guy's pretty big. I didn't realize he's 6'3", 180 pounds. But he was 21 of 22 in field goals for Michigan last season, 95.5%. In extra points, he was 26 of 27, so he only missed one. But 7 of 7 of his field goals from 50 plus. So this guy has it all coming back at kicker, and if not, we got Stuart Blake on the roster, a sophomore, 6'1", 179. No stats last year, of course, because Zvada ruled the show. So there you go. Is the offense capable under Chip Lindsey to put into place a more spread of an offense, more of a pass attack, and not allow Bryce Underwood to run? We need our running backs to open up as well, and a couple of 1,000-yard rushers. Can we use Bryce Underwood just properly in this offense going forward? And do we have the weapons at wide receiver? You let me know, but this is what we have. We are going to eventually see a Michigan spring game, and then, of course, we're going to see Michigan play. Someone is going to update the fall practices and all of that going into the season. So a lot of time. We don't even know if any of these people are going to be here in a couple weeks with the NIL and all that stuff. But that is what I have for Michigan's roster here in the spring. I like it. Not a lot of experience, but with the heights and weights for everybody on this team, there is heavy potential here for this team. And not to win another national title, I'm saying to make the college football playoff. That expanded to 12 teams now, if you didn't know. Even teams like SMU or whatever are getting into this thing. Michigan should too now. 12 teams. So there you go. Defense is next. Go Blue.